activity?
All. I enjoyed all. I didn't do what I didn't like. But I enjoyed I never knew the answer. Whatever I did, put my heart and soul in it. And I enjoyed it. Whether it was music, whether it was dance, whether it was athletics, whether it was NCC, whether it was debates, whether it was my classroom, I enjoyed every bit of whatever I did. And every bit that you do gives you a new quality in your character. Debate gives you confidence in speaking, organizing your thoughts, right? Playing gives you coordination between mind and body and gives you a lot of friends because you're playing with everybody, right? NCC teaches you discipline because you learn to work as a team. Dance and drama makes you relax and have a lot of fun. Tell me what one thing gives you fun also, knowledge also, presentation also, confidence also. Because you do so many interesting things and you enjoy them all, you are acquiring qualities from everywhere. And that is what makes you more versatile and achieve more in life. I enjoyed all.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question, please.
Of course, the most thing was of my tennis because I was a competitive tennis player. So it was very, tennis was my main game. I was traveling all over the country, which took most of my time. So tennis was, playing was, competing was my passion. But everything else was equally important.
Good morning, ma'am. I am Sanjoy. Ma'am, as you said, you love tennis and you were a well-acclaimed sports personality. Even though you had the chance to fully indulge in this field, what inspired you to serve your country instead?
Because the manner in which I was growing up not to be a selfish human being. I was growing up to be a nationalist, a freedom fighter. I was growing up to be a freedom fighter. I was not growing up to say how much money will I have. I think I was growing up how many people will I be of value to. मेरे मन में पैसे गिनती का नहीं लालच था. मेरे मन में ये था कि बड़े होके मैं कितनों का भला कर सकती हूँ. लड़की हुए लड़का मेरे दिमाग में नहीं था कि लड़की इतना कर लेगी ये लड़का कुछ, क्योंकि डिफरेंशिएशन माँ बाप ने डाली नहीं थी. जैसे आप में भी नहीं, आपके स्कूल में भी नहीं, आपके मैसेज में भी नहीं. कहाँ किसने कहा स्वामी जी ने कि लड़कियाँ कम है किसी से? तो बराबर है. तो जब मेरे मन में बराबरी आ चुकी थी तो मैं किसी से कम नहीं हूँ. तो मेरे मन में ये था, किसी के मन में होता है मैं बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बिजनेसमैन बनूंगा और बिलियनियर बनूंगा और वॉरेन बफेट बनूंगा और एक दिन दुनिया को बिल गेट्स बन के चैरिटी दूंगा. एक ये भी एम हो सकता है, लेकिन मेरे एम में ये नहीं था. मेरे एम में ये था मैं ऐसी जगह जाऊं जहां कुर्सी पे बैठ के सबका भला कर सकूं. जैसे डॉक्टर सोचता है, एक डॉक्टर बनता है मैं हॉस्पिटल बना के खूब पैसे कमाऊंगा, और एक डॉक्टर बनता है मैं लाइन लगा के लोगों की डट के सेवा करूंगा, गरीब से गरीब को. दोनों नीयत अच्छी है. वो भी सेवा कर रहा है लेकिन वो कमा भी रहा है, और ये भी सेवा कर रहा है लेकिन ये दुआ कमा रहा है, ये लोगों की दुआ ले रहा है. मुझे दुआ चाहिए.
Price, energy and the productive outcome of its people. I am honored to address Mr. Srijan. Sir, Dr. Kalam always emphasized a reasonable decline in the debates and deliberations taking place in the parliament. Can you tell us how can the legislative process be more directed to discreet and substantial planning?
What's your name?
Charlene.
Okay. So thank you for the question. I think I have to keep this up. Otherwise, interference. Right. I think it's a very good question. First of all, it's good to have two young children there moderating. Right. This is exactly the kind of thing probably we need in Parliament as well. Some amount of moderation. So your question is how can we make parliamentary procedures more developmental focused, more people-centric? How it can be more creative and constructive, right? Let me take you back to 27th of July 2015. I was with Dr. Kalam that day and we were having this conversation. So we were sitting next to each other in the car. And if you remember, all of you would, that period of July was a period of intense action leading to no outcome in the parliament. And Dr. Kalam was deeply disturbed by this incident. And he said that, look, I've seen 2 different governments as a president, different political parties. I've seen 3 different governments after he became the president, after he retired as the president. And again, different political parties. And he said every time, it does not matter who sits in the opposition and who sits in the government. The character and the action does not change. And he was extremely worried that the parliament, which is supposed to be the highest institution in any democracy, is not really working all the time. I'm not saying it does not work at all, but not all the time it works for the development of the people with whom they represent, right? So he wanted the young people, me, you, all of us, his own students who were there in IIM Shillong, to think about innovative ways in which Parliament can be made functional. And he wanted to give them an assignment, right? That assignment, unfortunately, he could not complete that class on the 27th of July. But what I did was that I put this question to all of you on the social media, and I got about 10,000 responses. I'm still counting, I don't know. My inbox filled up and I had to create another mailbox to get more responses. But some of them were really good. And I think, as Dr. Kalam used to say, and he said it in his presidential address at the parliament, there are 2 kinds of politics. One is called the development politics. The other is called what he used to call political politics, which means, shouting at each other, rallies, allegations.
Moderator, you would have to take Arnab Goswami. He would definitely make everyone silent and he will be speaking every now and then. I totally agree with you, sir. India's single biggest problem is that we expect government to do everything. And secondly also that government also wants to do everything for us. Then what do we expect the solution? The preamble, the basis of the country. It says, we, the people, gave ourselves this constitution, this government, this economy, this polity, and this society. My question is addressed to you, Mr. Rajiv. Sir, how can media be instrumental in evoking the responsibility of self-management in each and every citizen?
Alright, so I'm no authority, but I'll still speak straight from my heart. I think the media needs to be just accountable. They need to be honest. Media actually, the kind of media that I deal with, it's not media, it's just paid media. Everything is paid for. I don't know when it happened, but I saw it happening right in front of my eyes. I've been around for the last 12 years in this industry, and I saw media going from a certain position to a very sad position right now. So what we need to do is, I think the media needs to be really accountable and fair. They need to know that they're not just called for the heck of it, the 4th pillar of democracy. They have such a strong influence. Okay, just to help you understand, there are so many sad and silly films which end up making a lot of money, only because the media kind of goes out and sells their film. We all go into the theater and we say, I wasted my $300, $400. It's a very small thing to understand. But then why did you go inside? Why did you think that a certain film was very exciting? How? Nobody had seen the film. That's the power of media. They end up making 100 crores, 200 crores. We talk about 200 crore clubs. Do you really think those films deserve to be in those 200 clubs? A lot of films don't deserve. But why do we still go and watch it? Somewhere we are influenced. So media has that power. They have that might to influence people like us, people who are probably in villages, in small towns. We talk about bringing in a revolution. Media has that strength. We only need to have people who are honest. We need not just honest. I understand everyone has to earn their bread and butter. But we need to have people who understand the responsibility. With power, as they say, comes a lot of responsibility. But how many of us do we understand? It's a great profession to be in, media. I'm very sure a lot of you would end up joining media and doing articles and writing things about our society and other things, not just about entertainment industry. But I rarely come across people who genuinely want to join media because of the passion to bring in a change, because they believe that they can bring in a change. It's become more of a profession. And when there are seniors whom you meet, there are people around from the media world who think that, who still feel that, they have certain amount of power to bring in a change, but then they're relegated to the back. They're not the ones who are making any difference in these days. It's the youngsters who have come in, and it's just that cutthroat competition. You just want to be better than the other one, and in the process, actually destroying the fourth pillar, such a powerful institute called media. So I think we just need to have more responsible and accountable people in media, and they have the might to bring in a change.